guys, happy February. Can't believe it's already February 2nd. Oh my goodness. So I want to talk about finances and money today because it is February. So as business owners, we are getting ready for tax time right now. At least you should be getting ready for tax time. So that is why this month we have our guest expert coming in. Her name is Melissa Whaley, and she is going to be talking all about taxes and answering your questions and all of that great stuff. So I'm really excited for her to be doing that. In the meantime, I also wanted to talk about finances and money mindset in particular. So today I really want to talk about 7 things that you can do to improve your money mindset. I have some tips for you guys, and especially since I just hit my first 15K month, I'm super excited to talk about money mindset, and I hope that some of these tips that I've used in my business will be helpful for you in your business. The first thing that you should do is read books about money. There's so many books out there about money, and thank you, Laura. I think that reading about that stuff, for me, I just learn really well when I read. So that is something that has been a good idea for me in the past. So that's what I would recommend you guys do first, is if you're struggling with money mindset, to find books out there to help you with that. So the 3 books that I really like that deal with this topic, the first one is Profit First by Mike Michalowicz. And this book is actually really not necessarily on money mindset, but it's about how to actually set up the finances in your business. I think it's an absolute must read if you are a business owner. And so that's the first one. The second one I recommend is the Get Rich Lucky Bitch book by Denise Duffield Thomas. I really liked that one. And the other one I recommend is You Are a Badass at Making Money by Jen Sincero. I actually haven't personally read that one yet, but it is super high up on my to-read list because I read her first book and it was amazing. I loved it so much. It's one of my favorite business books. So I'm really excited. I'm probably going to be reading that book this month as the book club pick for my Biz Bestie Squad. So I'm really excited about reading that one. My second tip is to do something like have a mantra and just kind of practice gratitude as an overall practice. I'm not really a woo-woo type person, so this one is a little weird for me personally, but I do try to do some of this, and I think that it is like I've liked doing it in the past, so I think that it is something that you can try. What I mean by thinking about and like doing gratitude practice is you have to remember that the world that you live in is a reflection of yourself. So when you are looking around your life and you're just focused on the feeling of the lack thereof in your life, it's likely that you're only going to receive more of that lack in your life. So when you think about the mindset that you have going into your life, stop looking at things like you only have this and you only have that, and instead focus on the gratitude that you have for the things that you do have in your life, and be grateful for every little thing that you have, and remember how blessed you are to have those things. Focus more on being thankful for what you have than feeling like you don't have enough. One thing that I like to do sometimes is I've been trying to get better at meditating more at night before I go to bed. For me, when I meditate, I can't like sit there and not think about anything. So I have to kind of have a mantra that I say to myself when I meditate so that I'm focused on the moment. The mantra that I use personally is really simple. It's just thank you. I really like combining my gratitude practice and my meditating together. So I'll meditate and I'll just say thank you as my mantra. And so I really like doing those 2 things together. And, it always makes me feel really grateful and happy after. It kind of puts you in a really good mindset. And having a good mindset is like the first step to, having that money come into your life. The next thing that's sort of similar to that is, besides having that mindset of gratitude, you also want to have a mindset of generosity. Instead of constantly feeling like you don't have enough, you want to get more, kind of switch it up in your mind to focusing on giving more than receiving. So little things that you can do to kind of put this into practice in your life are things like donating even just a small amount to a charity. So on my birthday, I donated $50 to the Goats of Anarchy. This lady, actually, she runs a goat sanctuary, and it's for goats that are special needs goats. So goats with like missing legs, blind goats, stuff like that. If you know me, you know that I really love goats. So anyway, I decided that even though I've been really trying to save money lately and be super careful with my finances, I did donate $50 on my birthday for Goats of Anarchy, and I felt really good about that. So it was really nice to be able to give that. Even just such a small amount, even $5 or $10, it's nice to be in that generosity mindset versus in a mindset where you're constantly just wanting more to be given to you. Other things that you can do are participating in a fundraiser like a 5K or something like that, or even just like treating your friends to a round of drinks when you go out together at a restaurant or at a bar, finding those little opportunities to give more to the people around you in your life. I feel like it's possible that generosity is kind of like a karma thing where it kind of comes full circle, and if you give, you will receive. So again, it's a little bit too woo-woo for me, but I just like to think that being generous is always a good thing. So no matter what you believe, you can always find little ways to be generous in your life. And it's just nice to be focused more on giving than receiving, regardless of whether you believe that it will come back to you. The fourth thing that I want to talk about is getting on the same page with your partner on your money stuff. So you can kind of skip this one if you are single, but if you have like a significant other or a husband or wife, it's really, really important to be super on the same page when it comes to your finances. What I mean by this is, like, if you guys both have a money mindset problem, maybe you have the same one, maybe you have some different ones, maybe you guys share in having the same money blocks or you have different money blocks, or one of you is a spender and the other one's a saver. There's a lot of different things that go into money when you're a couple. So I think it's really important, just as like a marriage thing, that you are on the same page with your partner, and make sure that you guys are like agreed on how you're going to organize your finances, how you're going to manage your savings and your spending, and make sure you're on the same page with your goals and what you guys want to do with your money. And it might be good to have a conversation about like where you guys see yourselves in like 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, and make sure that you're putting a plan into place now so that you are like creating the opportunity for those things to happen in the future. I just think if at all possible, you guys should get on the same page, because if you're doing this journey of money together, it's going to be a lot easier if both of you are on the same page about what your goals are and how you're going to achieve those goals. The next thing that is important is to know your worth. So this is a little bit more about the business side of things. So there's a couple of different things that you can do in your business to make sure that you not only know your worth, but that you're like presenting to others that you know your worth, and you're actually practicing that like I am worthy-ness. So the first thing that you can do is raise your prices. It's the beginning of the year. It's a great time to kind of refresh those prices, raise them if possible. Just do a little audit, see if you might want to raise your prices. Even just a small raise in your prices can make you feel a lot more confident. You also want to really value your time, and this is something that time management is something that I struggle with. I'm completely open about that, but I think it's really important to personally put a really high value on your time. So make sure that you're focusing only on the things that are most important in your business, and try not to spend too much time on things that aren't giving you a return on your investment. And just be really conscious when you're making decisions of how to spend your time, that you're spending time on like what matters and not wasting your time, because your time is what you know, time is money. So you really want to value your time more than like anything else in your business. So just make sure that you are doing that. This might mean like saying no to different opportunities. It might mean hiring somebody. Just think about the different ways you can put more of a value on your time in your business. And this will also like stop people from taking advantage of you, and also raising your prices and stuff like that. You'll get better clients and you'll just feel all around more happy in your business. The sixth thing that you can do, this is more of like a lifestyle tip, is that you can kind of create more space in your life for wealth. And again, this is like a tad on the woo-woo side, which is not super my thing, but I think that, you know, something that does work for me is when there's this idea that if you have like a lot of clutter in your lifestyle, that you're blocking the ability to receive more. And I'm not sure if I'm quite on the same page with that. Again, it's a little bit woo-woo, but I do think that there's totally a truth to making a little bit more space in your life is like a good way to appreciate what you have. So what I mean by this is like, you could declutter things in your house, pick up, do a nice spring cleaning, practice a little bit more minimalism, and focus on being grateful for the things like in your house and in your life that make you happy and that you love. So instead of focusing on like, maybe you wish you had like a bigger house or I don't know, like a nicer couch or whatever, like, but instead of focusing on that, appreciate the things in your house that may already make you happy and be really grateful for having those things. Like, hey, at least you have a house. Like, I don't know, sometimes it's hard to put yourself in that mindset, but I think it's important to just be happy with what you have and not focus so much on what you don't have, because really we could be so much worse off. You might want to take this opportunity to donate some of your things to like Goodwill or Salvation Army or Big Brother Big Sister. There's a lot of places that will even come and pick it up for you. So we donate a lot, and you can even, so this kind of like comes back full circle. You can even take that money off your taxes. So if you make like the list that you're supposed to do, and you assign values to each of the things that you're donating, and then you have whoever picks it up or whoever you're bringing it to, they sign it, and then you can give that to your accountant. I don't really know how it works because I use an accountant, but then she'll use it, and then you can kind of get some of that money back added to your tax return or take off your taxes. So the last tip is kind of visualizing your like the life that you want to have and taking small steps to get there. So again, I'm not super into the whole thing where they're like, imagine you're like exactly how you want your life to be like, and like just visualize that and just like keep thinking about it. I don't know, I'm not super into that, but I think that taking a step back and thinking about what you really, really want your life to look like can really help you get more on track when it comes to achieving that thing. So if you're just like, oh, like I wish my life was better, but like you're not super specific about what you actually want out of life and what you want your life to look like in 5 years, it's going to be harder for you to achieve that goal because it's not specific. So think about what you really want from money. What does wealth and abundance look like to you? So try to imagine what your life would look like if you got to a place of true wealth and abundance and the feelings that would give you. So if you were like, had the perfect amount of money, what would you be doing? What does that life even look like for you? And I feel like it's kind of fun to even sit there and imagine that kind of stuff. Sometimes I'm like, ooh, like I would live on a farm and make my own vegetables and have chickens and stuff. And then other times I'm like, I would move to a city and I would like walk around the city and there'd be all kinds of like museums and food and I don't know. So it's kind of nice to think about like, what would I do if I had like unlimited potential? So I think it's kind of a fun exercise. You really want to focus on if you had kind of like that perfect life that you're imagining, what are the feelings that you're feeling? Like if your life was perfect, what is that feeling inside? Like why do you want that? And how does it feel? Instead of focusing on achieving like this perfect ideal, focus on getting to that feeling inside versus like getting the things around you that would make that life happen, and think less about the part that money plays in all of that. So for example, if you wish you had more money so that you could go on like one vacation every year, or maybe you want to go on vacation like 2 times a year or 4 times a year, whatever. Like, why do you want to go on vacation? Maybe it's because you want to spend some alone time with your partner, or you want a time where you can just like relax and de-stress. So it's not really like the vacation that you want, like it necessarily. I mean, maybe you do like really want to go to Italy, and that's totally like, that's like a different thing. But if you just want to go like to the beach and chill out, like what about being there makes you happy? Like, why do you want that? And then focus on finding other ways to achieve that in your life without necessarily having to go on a vacation or spend money. Like, think about how you can achieve that without money being a part of the equation. So, for example, if you know, the vacation thing, if you really want to relax and de-stress, find new ways to bring those feelings of relaxation into your current lifestyle so that you are feeling that experience of like what that abundance and wealth feels like to you, without actually needing the money to get there. So maybe it's just you need to take like a couple days off your business, have a little staycation, go out on a romantic date with your husband, or like a picnic, something that doesn't even cost any money at all. And think about like doing more stuff like that on a day-to-day basis in your life, instead of constantly being like, oh, I wish I could go to Bermuda. I feel like it's so easy to get stuck in this cycle of where you're just like, I want this, I want this, I want this, and you're not thinking about why you want it, or different ways that you can achieve those same goal feelings. So yes, those are my 7 tips on money mindset. All right, you guys, bye.